Good afternoon, everyone. I want to share my love story with you. About 20 years ago, I attempted suicide. I cut both my wrists really bad, and I stabbed myself several times in the neck. I just no longer wanted to live. I will not offer you any excuses. I will not tell you, my thoughts of it. It was something that I just did not want to live. I did not want to face the battle that I created. I ended up doing 5 years in prison, and during that time, I met God, and it was the most wonderful experience I've ever had. I was actually in the shower, and I was crying. I was lost. My family wouldn't contact me, wouldn't write me. My brothers and sisters basically disowned me. But I found God. I fell to my knees actually in the shower, and I just started to cry, and I asked him to come into my life. And from that day forward, 20 years later, I'm still alive. I have a wonderful life, and I have a wonderful wife, beautiful daughter. But I have all these things because of God only. As I grew close to God in the prison, I did my very best just to do everything I could to read as much as I could, to devote myself to God. And once I got released, I walked into a company, and I met this beautiful woman. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful woman. And I didn't realize just how amazing she was. So I didn't have the nerve to ask her out. So I would come back and forth. I would drive clear across town just to see this girl. And about 6 months later, I finally asked her out. And we went to dinner. And to be honest with you, 20 years later, or actually 14 years later, we have not been apart. From that dinner on, we've not been apart. And I have to tell you that on the very first date, I took her to dinner. We had a wonderful time. And my heart rate was just pounding, because I was with the one I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life with. I knew it. So as I was driving her home, I pulled up in the driveway, and I said, before you go, I would like to share a little story about myself. And I had told her about committing suicide, or attempting to commit suicide, and I told her about being in prison. And she looked at me and she said, that doesn't bother me. And I have to be honest with you, I grew about 2 inches that day. I was just elated that was her answer. So during dinner, she had told me that her favorite breakfast was the McDonald's ham and cheese bagel. So the very next morning, and all of you men that are listening, the most important advice I could ever give you is to listen to your wife. No matter what, listen to her. So I went to her job the next day, and I delivered her a Coke, a hash brown, and a ham and cheese bagel. And, that made her day. So a year later, we had this beautiful baby girl. And the most wonderful thing, or one of the most wonderful things about this story, is my wife wasn't able to have children. But God said, oh, yes, she can. And we had this beautiful daughter. And now she's 13, and just the true love of my life. And we have such a wonderful family. It's just my wife and daughter and I. And we share everything together. We do everything together. And we share God together. We talk about God. We have Bible studies every Sunday night about God. We pray at every dinner. We pray all the time. And what I want to share with you about this wonderful love story is 2 years before I got out of prison, I started praying to God, asking him to deliver me a wonderful woman. True story. I prayed every single night. I just asked him, my prayers were long. I would fall asleep during my prayers, but one thing I would ask him is, please put a wonderful woman into my life who will forgive me for the things I've done, who will accept me for me. And I asked for a baby girl. And I think the reason why I asked for a baby girl is because I was raised with 6 sisters. But I just wanted a daughter. And so when I met my wife, next thing you know it, she's pregnant. And then about several months later, we go in and we do the ultrasound. And actually my wife was so nervous because she felt that if it was a boy, she would have disappointed me. And when the doctor said it was a baby girl, I mean, at that moment, I've already way past the belief of God. I know that God is with me and all of you and all of us every single day. It's whether we ask him to continue to stay with us and ask him to accept us into his life. But when she said, it's a girl, that is a true love story. See, I shared this love story with you because it's not really about my wife. It's not about my wife or daughter. And I cherish and love them a great deal. But it's about God and myself. A true love story that I fought and pushed him away for years. And he loved me. He continued to love me. He forgave me. He saved my life. And he gave me a new life. I can never turn my back on God. And I am asking all of you that no matter what position you are in life, no matter what has happened in your life, it's never too late. It's never too late to say, God, I need you. I love you and I need you in my life. I can't do this anymore. I'm just telling you that I am living proof. I am living proof that God is real. And every day I'm living proof that God is real because he continues to answer my prayers. So I want to thank you all today for allowing me to share this story with you. I want you to look at the post that I'm putting down here at the bottom of this video. My YouTube channel. I hope that you will like this video and leave a comment. And I ask that you share this video because it's something that I think that everybody should hear, and that's why I'm sharing it. And I want everybody to know that it's never too late. It's never too late. In Ephesians, it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not of your own doing. It is the gift of God." It is the gift of God. It's amazing. After all the things I've experienced with God, every day I wake up so excited just to see him and hear him. And the last thing I wanted to share with you was I was out walking with my dog one night, and he said, and I was talking to him, and I was complaining about the fact that it's been over 20 years and I haven't heard from my family. My brothers and sisters do not contact me. And he spoke to me, and he said, you know, I am so tired of hearing you complain about a family that I've closed the door on. I need for you to focus on the family that I've given you. A family that loves you and cherishes you and believes in you. And from that moment on, I've let it go. And so in Mark 11:24, it says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Well, I asked, and I certainly received it. And I thank God every day. So I love all of you. I'm asking you again to join my channel, subscribe to my channel. It's right here down at the bottom of the page. And share my video, share my story with people and like it. Leave a message to me and I'll get back to you. I love all of you. God bless all of you, and thank you for listening to my love story.